With an opening statement before we open it up to questions.
I'm thankful for the crowd that showed up today. It really was a great environment on the Sunday. They've had a rough weekend, Friday night, then obviously Saturday, and then tonight, and our fans showed up. So I'm thankful for them for showing up. Thankful to our players, our staff for being able to execute a game plan. It was awesome to see things come to fruition. Watching one of our former players, Andrew Wilson, I was a graduate assistant, and I knew he would be a coach as a former player at Florida State. In addition to Xavier Silas, seeing Xavier Silas, another former player, when I was at Northern Illinois on that same staff, being able to connect those two from different institutions, different times in my coaching career, that's what it's about, being able to connect people that work well together in this profession. And it's the lifelong relationships that I talk about having with my players. It just didn't start when I became a head coach. It started when I became or even got into coaching at the very beginning. So I'm thankful for the friendship that has transitioned into, because it's very special to see. It's tough to play a guy that you know like that. So I'm thankful that our guys were able to come out with a victory. What can I say? Mark Mitchell, double-double. Luke Northweather, first game with 10 rebounds in his career. Jaden Stone, stat line. Sebastian Mack, stat line. Obviously, these two guys here and Javon Porter getting close to 10 rebounds as well. I thought our team did a great job executing. Questions?
For Jacob and Ant, how do you guys feel like as a team you were able to have such an advantage in the paint today?
You got it. I think it started with our mindset. We came in, quick turnaround. I think we again executed very well on what we were trying to do. They went to their zone and everything like that, and it kind of opened up the middle for us. The free throw line extended and everything, and we just started cutting and just communicating on what we were doing. And I think Mark stayed aggressive, from the last game to this game, and it pays off. I mean, he's a force down there, and he attracts a lot of attention, opens up a lot of cuts for us, and we executed.
Yeah, like Cruz said, we just focused on coach's game plan. They threw a little zone at us, and we kept in the middle. So just staying in attack mode, keep telling Mark to get paint touches and go finish at the rim. So just with our size, just being aggressive and attacking the rim.
For Adam and Jacob as well, what was kind of the adjustment at halftime, the way that they shot from three in the first half to kind of shut that down a little bit more in the second half?
Just staying with it. I think that was a big emphasis. Is they hit a backboard three, and then they had a loose ball three and everything like that. So it was just like a couple of the situations, not overreacting, seeing certain shots go in, kind of just forgetting it and getting to the next play. And obviously at halftime you can make your adjustments and everything with how they're playing, and we did. We just stayed more aggressive, communicated on switches, and trusted each other, and stayed attached to the hot man. And if he hit a tough one, then he hit a tough one, but just having each other's back, long rotations. So
Coach, what did you see 6 minutes tonight from Nicholas Randall that had the reverse alley-oop and forced the turnover there in his college debut?
Nicholas has a joyful spirit. His upperclassmen continue to put their arms around him, and there's nothing he's going through right now that they hadn't gone through. And he's allowing himself, he's doing a better job throughout from the summer to now, and he's allowing himself to absorb what they're teaching because there is a transition. I think he's going to be a heck of a player. He and Aaron Rowe are going to be great players for us at some point. And I think that his opportunities will continue to come no different than the rest of our guys. So he had great minutes. Defensively, he did a tremendous job in ball screen defense where he got a couple deflections. He can become an elite rebounder. I want to see him continue to talk a little bit more, but he can become a force defensively and offensively and be a two-way player for us. And I believe he'll help us win some games in the SEC. I truly believe that. You never know what comes and goes, especially with foul trouble. And he's another hybrid forward that can play 3, 4, 5 for us and come away with results. So I'm thankful for what he's been able to do behind the scenes and work as hard as he's been working.
Coach, I'm curious what your thoughts are on the difference for y'all defensively from the first half to the second half.
First half to the second half, I think the difference is we were able to get there on shooters and specifically lower their percentages. When you have, a high percentage field goal number, it puts stress on you. But ultimately, we did make the adjustments. The same shots they shot in that second half were the same shots that they shot in the first. And I think the results were they made some tough shots. That's a different team with their all-conference player, point guard, that was out. So I do wish him a speedy recovery. They needed him, his leadership. I do believe it gives them a different dynamic, a sort of calmness about their team. I've watched them enough because I obviously have cheered from afar for Coach Wilson and his program. But I do think they are without their best player who is dynamic, and it causes guys to play out of roles. So we were able to pressure up a little bit more. We were able to get deflections on ball and make the passes a little bit tougher. And I thought our guys rebounded well. Whenever you can have 50 rebounds in a game, that's a tremendous number.
What do you feel like went into the rebounding performance, especially with Sean Phillips out today?
2 hands. 2 hands. It's just that simple. 2 hands.
Coach, in addition to rebounding with Phillips out, how do you feel that your team's forwards stepped up today?
I think they did a good job. When you have Sean Phillips is a unique player, and we do miss him being out there. Obviously, it was such a late notice of just making a decision not to play him. At halftime, he's probably looking for his jersey, and that's just how he is. And rim protection, I thought Luke Northweather was able, from a position standpoint, to step up, step in, and provide us with rim protection. May not have been as intimidating as a Sean Phillips, who is an elite athlete, but a positional defender is just as valuable on wall-ups, being in the right spot, being able to talk and switch. We saw Luke's versatility, and that's something that I think he will continue to get better in and on. Being able to have Mark Mitchell out there as a forward, being able to have Javon Porter out there. So collectively, those guys combined for 29 rebounds. That's a great stat line for 3 of our frontline starters. And I don't know the last time that happened in the history of our school. I have no clue. When you look at the 4, 5, and a 3 rebounding, having 29 total. So that's possible, almost 3 10-rebound, double-digit games. Or 3 guys with that number, and I thought they did a tremendous job. Jaden Stone did come away with 7, so that's pretty impressive as well.
Anthony, I know you had talked a little bit about it before the season, but what feels different about your 3-point jumper this season compared to
Tell the truth, because I want to hear this one. I'm waiting to hear this one. Your mom's watching too.
I've been working with Coach Gates, with my form and technique still. So just being more comfortable out there, not thinking about it, get out of my head, just letting it go. So just working on it and nothing else to it, just shoot the ball is what I've been told. So
I don't think you've ever had 5 attempts from 3-point range in a game before tonight in your career. Is that kind of just when you get in a rhythm, or is it something that you're being asked to do more?
Coach Gates is telling me to shoot the ball and shoot the ball more. So just me being comfortable shooting the ball and not worrying about a miss or make.
And it's not telling the truth. And spent, first of all, he doesn't realize that his high school coach was a very good player. That's first of all. He didn't think Charlie Ward was a good player. The second thing is he spent his entire year, his first year, talking about what position were you?
Combo?
He just said, I'm a combo. Ant spent his first 3 years in high school sharing the ball with Trey Donaldson. So that took away from the things that he is showing from a point guard standpoint his first 2 years to manage himself into a lineup and fight for minutes. So he wasn't worried about offense. He was worried about what's going to get me on the court. I'm playing with Nick Honor. I'm playing with Sean E. or those guys. How can I get on the court and carve out some time? He was able to do that at a high level defensively, which is his natural instinct. Well, what did he leave behind? Because we got Caleb Brill, because we have guys able to score, what was there to do? He ended up sacrificing his offense. If you watched his tapes, AAU, if you watched his tapes high school, he shot the ball. He shot it. So for the young players out there, you carve out time by fighting, and he fought defensively and sacrificed offense because of the dynamic of the team. Now that role changes. He comes from from underclassmen to upperclassmen. We need him to score and be the defensive player of the year in this conference. At the end of the day, if he continues to do that and not react when he misses a free throw, what I'm thankful is he allows me to coach him, and me and his mom, dad, we on the same page. That's the fun part. He's boxed in. He has nowhere to go.
Coach, how do you help a player make that transition from fighting for minutes early on and, being in more of a role to helping them?
How do I do that, Cruz? Because he had to go through it too.
I would say it was, it's like tough love. You gotta kind of go through the storm, but he's like there for you. But he's also like, he turns it into, learning lessons outside of basketball as well. He treats you like a man, treat you like a little kid or anything like that. I mean, he's there for you, but he also lets you like learn on your own a little bit. But he's always gonna have your back, And I think that's one thing he did for me was, he showed the tough love for me because I needed it. I needed to grow from it, and I'm benefiting from it. Like I'm having the benefits from it now. Being able to play my mind free and not thinking about too many things. And, he's really good at it. I mean, he really cares. That's something that's organic from him. He does really care. It's bigger than basketball. So
I can tell Cruz has grown because I asked him a question today. I said, "You want to go back in at the 4-minute mark?" He said, "No, just keep those guys in." And last year, Jacob Cruz wouldn't have said that. He's gonna figure out how many shot attempts he had so he can obviously try to score some more. I think when you challenge young people, I get to use their triggers, but also the people that they can go back and run to. Aunt Robinson's mom, dad, family, his wife. At the end of the day, I invite Carmen to practice, and she gets to see her husband's development. That's a unbelievable front row seat into coaching because it's not just me. In fact, something happened. I said, "Jacob, you're not talking loud enough." Then he repeated something. I said, "It's not loud enough." Then I yelled across the gym and said, what did I say?
that's my wife.
I said, "Carmen, is he talking?" So when you have a healthy environment like that, and these guys allow you to push them, it takes relationship and real love. These guys know I love them, and no different than my relationship with Andrew Wilson and Xavier Silas. Nick Corder's on that staff as well. He was my manager at Cleveland State my first year. Those guys, the relationship goes beyond just basketball. It's lifelong.
One last question.
Coach, on a day where you kind of unexpectedly lose another player, how encouraging is it to see so much of the offensive load spread around the entire depth of your lineup?
I'll put this on the record. Sean wanted to play. I had to make a decision. 3 games in less than 5 days. I'm just shocked he allowed me to make that decision, but it comes with the relationship. Sean wanted to be out there with his teammates. And leave no doubt about it, he wanted to find his jersey at halftime. We make sure our equipment guy take the jersey because Sean would have been in that layup line and we would have had a bigger problem. But it's for a good cause. So being able to have depth I miss Honor Boateng, Trent Pierce, Trent Burns. Can't wait for him to get out there. And then obviously Sean Phillips. You know, I'm just looking at our roster, and this is when the depth and our recruiting decisions pay off. I'm not panicked off of guys taking their time to get healthy or making that decision, because I want the other guys to also have opportunities and development. It's a long season, and you never know what curveballs we're throwing as a coach or as a staff. So our players are always ready. Next man up is our mentality and our mantra. So these guys were able to execute that without Sean, and you know, he should be back next game.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, MIZ.
Thank you.
Thank you.